We're live. All right, welcome to another podcast. Another episode of the Light the Torch podcast. Like you see, I can't even get my words out. I'm so excited over here. We did it. We got our guy,
Finally
man.
over, baby.
Let's go. Not only did we get our guy, we stole him from our enemy, man. It makes it that much better. So they
Sorry,
may have
little
beat us
brother.
this year, but we come out with the victory in the long run, man. So thoughts, gentlemen. What's your initial thoughts on this hire?
Solid hire. I mean, I think everyone was expecting the home run, but I think over time it can be that home run hire. But I think just initially, first thoughts, solid hire. Great to see you taking it from UCLA. Continue to burn that program, I should say. Yeah, those are my initial thoughts.
Right. Man, I mean, what bigger way to flex than to steal a coordinator from little brother over there, man. What about you, Tyler? What you got?
Yeah, I mean, they walked all up and down the field against us, and we had one of the top 5 offenses in the country, and they made us look kind of like a peewee squad. And they went from 89th in the country and to 11th. So, you guys probably seen a lot of those stats already, and it's impressive what he did. Latu is going to be a first-round pick. That guy's an absolute beast. Made our offensive line look pretty terrible, and so he knows how to make guys get after it. He was a safeties coach under John Harbaugh in the Ravens organization, and while he was there, had one of the best defenses in the entire NFL, giving up less than 20 points a game. So he's like had the tutelage under guys who really know what they're doing, and the results showed. So yeah, excited about it. I think he's going to do great.
Absolutely, man. He's definitely proven himself. Yep, in a short period of time, man, he's been able to turn that UCLA defense around. And like you said, man, we played him. Raul and myself were there, and there was just nothing that we could do against that defense, man. And they just completely dominated us, unfortunately. And so they look like a Trojan defense over there, man, which is it's quite odd for us to be on the other side of that, man. Obviously, we haven't had a dominant defense in quite some time, and it's been well below standard. So we're ready to get that standard back up, man. See dominant defense. That's what we're known for, as well as explosive offenses as well. So pairing those two, Lincoln Riley and Nancy Lynn, should be a recipe for something very special, man. So we should be finally righting this ship. So I'm pretty excited about that, man. We deserve it, to say the least, man. We definitely deserve. Who knows, man? This may sway some decisions. From a particular quarterback. No, I'm just kidding. But we'll see what happens, man. What do you guys think?
This is the happiest I've been about.
Caleb might.
No, Caleb's not coming back. Everybody needs to get rid of that. Like we just got to be excited for the first time in a decade that our defense is going to start looking like some of those Pete Carroll times where we can actually get a stop. So, yeah, it's been a long time. Clay Helton years were rough. Alex Grinch years were even worse. We wouldn't have thought it couldn't have gotten any worse, but he's going to have a lot better talent to be able to work with now. And, maybe who knows how long he's going to be here for, but if we can just get momentum in the right direction and have somebody be that next guy up, kind of like Georgia and Alabama have had, that's the type of funnel we want that to be, that really cyclical process where the next guy up is ready to go because they involve their assistants and not just have to be recruiting guys. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and I was a little late here, guys, but I'm not sure what everybody else said, but I'm excited about the hire. I know we mentioned it on one of our episodes. I think Rick and I was on it. We had mentioned Lynn as a potential option at the time. We were joking around, and for the most part, everybody was thinking he was NFL bound. So it might not be the splashy name, but I think he might be the right guy for the job. He's here in LA. He probably has some connections already in terms of the local high schools here, which is big. And then I think he's gonna do wonders for us. Look at what he did with UCLA. I think they went from a total defense of 89th to 11 this year in one season. And I personally think we can get the better recruits and that we have the better players. So I'm excited about the hire.
Absolutely. Since you mentioned Rick, he'll be joining us shortly. So within the next 15 minutes, he'll be here with us to celebrate. But yeah, D'Anton Lynn, man, listen, he may not have the biggest name, but that's not his fault. He's only been in the college game for a couple of years. What, a year, I say? And
1 year.
yep. So once the recruits see his resume, they see, oh, he's an NFL guy. I think all that name stuff don't even matter. You know what I mean? That kind of takes place of that. It's like, oh, he's an NFL guy. Okay, so he can develop. He can get me to the NFL. That's what recruits want to see, right? So it may not be a splashy name, but the resume is there. You know what I mean? Look what he was able to do over there at UCLA. I mean, without him, they wouldn't have won a game, because their offense was not looking great at all, except for when they played us. But that was pretty much everyone. But let's see. Jeff Rodriguez says, "Hey guys, Coach Will thinks might have been hired sometime last week. Not much declared for the portal." Not sure what you're saying, Jeff, in that last sentence, but yeah. I mean, listen, there's been a lot of information put out. that very well could be true, but I haven't heard that. You guys heard anything about that?
Well, no. What was the question? Sorry.
I'll jump in, and Guns, you can kind of spin off of what I say. I like hearing from this stuff last week. Like I'll do my best to try to be nice here. But looks like all the insiders didn't check their sources. We'll say that. So I think we heard like 4 different times that they were gonna tell the team that they found their guy, and so would have thought that that would have made it to one of the insiders, but it didn't seem like that was the case because we didn't hear Lynn's name until like an hour ago. So he did come from the Ravens, Jeff. That was coming from John Harbaugh's very stout defense. Like they've always been solid there. They always seem to have guys like Roquan Smith come from playing on the Bears and being a much better performer under that defense. So yeah, I mean, you're totally right. We didn't hear Riley either. This was one of those last minute things, and Riley keeps things really tight-lipped and close to the chest. And this was an example of rumors running wild and people just kind of taking information and trying to turn it into fact, and the internet doing its damn thing. So I mean, until Pete THAMEL drops the bomb like he did with the Riley news a couple years ago, I ain't gonna really believe much of the rest of the guys at this point. So sorry to the rest of them, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think my biggest my next biggest question is like, what's the rest of the support staff going to look like? Are we going to build it out with a lot of guys that are going to have NFL experience from him being in the NFL? Are we going to have some past guys that have USC ties, like Ed Orgeron being the D-line coach? He's not going to be the DC guys. Don't hate on me for that. Ken Norton, those types of things. Like, what's the rest of the support staff going to look like? Because there's a lot of rumors that there's supposed to be a lot of money. I know my boy Guns, Jeff Collins. He definitely wants to be in there as well. So, yeah, Guns, what do you think? What are the types of guys you want to put on that support staff?
Yeah, I mean, Collins would be one. Elijah Robinson obviously would be one. Corey Raymond, DB's coach. I mean, that's obviously like the wish list. I don't know if we can get all of them, but those are just a few. But I just think really we need people that can recruit because he's only been a year in. So while he is in the college, right, he doesn't have those connections yet. So he can relate. He can say that he can develop. That's a great thing for these recruits, and that's what they want. But we definitely need to have those talkers that can continue to bug these kids and those coaches. Side note, if you guys aren't watching, 10-0 Washington. So
Let's go.
heads up there.
So pretty much all of us chose Washington last night. If you didn't catch our episode, we gave a little brief predictions on.
You guys just wanted to make Raul feel better, huh?
Raul's scarfing down his food right now, man. He's not worried about us. He's feeling great right now. No, but so a little bit about DeAnthony Lynn, man. So obviously he's a defensive coordinator. He's 34 years of age. I don't know why they have his height and weight on here. He's not playing. He's not stepping on the field, but he's
man ran a 4.5 40 when he was a safety. So
yes.
that boy liked to hit people.
There you go, 6'1", 208. Yeah, so he's a Penn State alum. So that he's familiar with the Big Ten. That's for sure. I don't know if he's made some connections there as far that will help us out recruiting. I don't know if that would translate at all, but either way, man, his resume speaks for itself. What he was able to do with UCLA's defense is, as well as coming from the NFL, man, I think that holds a lot of weight with recruits, like I mentioned earlier. Guns, I'm gonna say this, guns. You probably remember, man. The funny thing about this whole thing, right? So with me, I said it. I forget what episode it was, man, but I said, don't be alarmed by the smoke screens, because there's going to be some names that are mentioned just to get, just to get just to get their agents. Just to get some more money out of their current schools, right? And what do we go do? All of us jumped. Every name we heard, oh, there's this guy, right? No. Even though I won this, even though I fell for it myself, man. So yeah, man, you guys feel free to get on me about that one, but yeah, I fell for it myself, man. Even after giving the warning. So hey, that's just what it is. As far as guys that been getting beat up on Twitter all week for their sources not, nobody had. Let's look at what's going on over there at such and so website. I'm not even gonna put them on blast like that, but yeah, man, everyone's sources were off on this one. Riley had this one tight to the lip, so don't beat guys up too much, man. No one really knew, so everyone has sources, but they were all off too. So that's just what it is.
Yeah, off2.com.
Yeah, off2.com. Yeah, man. So that's just what it was this week, man. I'm glad it's finally over, man. People were taking off their jobs, waiting on announcements. Yeah, man. Who we got here? Oh, what? Look who's awake. Look who's finally awake, man.
I just got back from the gym. Yeah. Whoa, over here, okay?
Go ahead, flex on it one more time, like we flexed on UCLA just now. Yeah, man.
It was biceps day today, so I can't skip that day. So I know it's an emergency, but biceps come first.
So yeah, man.
So who do you guys think? Who do you think that's on the defense right now is going to be the breakout guy that you'd want to circle?
So
in this defense,
is it actually official? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Pete
announced it.
Yeah, Pete THAMEL announced it.
Yeah,
so USC announced it, not just per source.
Listen, Pete THAMEL,
the Pete THAMEL.
Okay,
I've been reach out to a major outlet first, like that.
Okay, if he's saying it, I trust him better than
Ryan Abraham said it too. So we're starting to hear from people who haven't said things yet.
Who are
so.
Yeah. Ryan's have we gone over his stats yet?
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Tyler, a sneaky guy that Mike mentioned in one of our chats is Corey Foreman. I mean,
Yeah.
I know if he stays, that's kind of obviously one of the questions. I could see him getting rotation and creating some havoc. So
since you said that, since he stays, I've heard from a source. We'll see how accurate our source is, but yeah, I heard from a source that he is likely to stay. There'll be a lot of movement, but we heard that Corey is one to come back. So we'll
wait it
see.
out.
We'll see how that plays out.
cool.
But yeah, I think with this hire, man, it would be a good idea for him to stay. You know, he gets a fresh start. Hopefully, they use him right. It'll be the first time he's ever used right, maybe. You know, we're very high on Corey over here. And earlier in the year, you know, he showed some promise, and then you know, things happened the way it happened. But I look at the edge rushers, man. If you look at what was his name over there? You said Latu,
Number 11
Latu.
or number 12?
Latu.
right?
Not
I
to
mean,
number 11.
that guy is just a beast, man. He was made a beast. As long as they're I mean, what they had like 4 of the top 5 edge rushers this year, or not edge rushers, but pass rushers this year.
He was giving
Three
us
of them, I
nightmares.
know. Yeah.
Three
Yeah,
or four.
we get Jamil Muhammad back. So you
Yeah.
look at guys like that, man, and top of, and especially like young guys like Braylon Shelby. You know, we'll see the
That's my
development. Yep, DJ Peavy. We'll see his development. You know,
So wait,
Sam.
did we go over stats and everything?
Yep.
No, you go ahead if you want. We, you know, briefly went over his profile, even his height and weight for some stupid reason, and his
His blood type.
blood type and all.
So
We just know that he went from 89th to 11th this year, or the UCLA defense, total defense.
No.
do you guys know his total rush defense?
No, we
Go ahead.
didn't do all that.
Yep,
No,
you feel free.
no.
Number 1 in the nation.
Bruce.
There we
Just-
go.
He
just
held
read
on
it
rushing
out.
like what 3 yards.
Yeah, they average 69 yards a game for rushing defense.
They
They
good in the
average,
Big Ten?
huh?
Do you think that would be good in the Big Ten?
Whew. Scoring defense, they were 16th in the nation. Passing yards allowed, they were kind of bad on that end, but still not as bad as us. They were 71st, but they were third in the Pac-10 or Pac-12, so that's saying something in the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
And then passes intercepted, they were 14th in the nation.
Wow.
Let's see, first down defense, they were 24th in the nation, which is really good. Tackles for loss, third in the nation. Sheesh.
Got to interrupt you real quick.
Go for it.
Bruce Feldman just said he's getting $2 million.
$2 million.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it's that low.
that'll make him the second highest coordinator in the whole entire country. The only one is not Jim Leonard, Jim Knowles at Ohio State.
Exactly. Okay, so here's the thing, right? With UCLA, they were the reason why. Well, one of the reasons I know for sure. One of the reasons why they kept Chip Kelly. Their athletic department they're kind of in a rut, right? As far as money is concerned. I mean, don't get me wrong, they got some big donors and everything too, but not nearly as much as every other competitive program. You know what I mean? So for them to fire Chip Kelly and then go through the hiring process all over and spend more money, and you know the market's going to be even increased. You know, I don't think they really want to go through that as a program right now. So, which is why we were able to jump in there, throw a little bag over there, and run away with our guy.
And he's not moving far.
Exactly. Probably won't even have to leave his current house. So
He probably lives closer to USC than UCLA.
yeah, maybe. Maybe. Either way, man. All you gotta do is hop across the freeway. He's good, man.
That's what type of defense does he run?
I'm
trying to find it.
I have to go back and look.
trying to find it here. There's no real good website that shows defensive schemes, but it's still clearly a good defense to be able to be number one in the nation on rush
That's
defense. If it's a 4-3, I'd be happy.
I'm trying to think, man. I really.
Oh, we got Rick in here.
Yes, sir. There he is, as
There
promised.
he is.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Rick?
Man, what a
We're just
crazy
over here celebrating
last-
a little bit.
So was Jen lying? Jen lied to us.
What's
What's
that?
that?
She was like, "Oh, our defensive coordinator is playing in the championship game."
We shouldn't really say that verbatim, but
That's
could
right.
be.
people, wanted to twist the
Could be
words a
playing,
little bit.
yeah. Did she say
Yeah.
could, or did she? What was her words? I didn't see it.
Just saying, like, we have we have the championship games more, dominoes to be knocked down, stuff like that type of deal. So
It's probably
just saying, like, they were basically saying, like, there's options out there still for us.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
championship games to be played. So, basically the timeline is, I think it was a great article. It was the perfect timing because the fan base was going crazy with the white Christmas news. And hey, it's business. Look at, good for Tony White and his family. He got a big raise to stay
Yeah.
at Preston. So,
Blackie Chan, you might have something to do with that. You guys
Did,
need to check out. Blackie Chan made an in-depth video about Tony White and his defense, man. That the numbers are growing over there, so he did pretty well, man. And he might have contributed. He probably went over there to AD in Nebraska and showed him that video, like, hey, look,
This is why I need this is why I need a raise, or I'm leaving.
Exactly.
yeah. So you did a great video on that too, Blackie Chan. I
Appreciate it,
yeah, the more I learned about
Tony.
Tony White, like, okay, this guy would be a good fit. Also, similar to UCLA is because you weaken a team that's in the Big Ten, you take the defensive coordinator who's a young guy. But I like D'Anton Lynn.
Yeah.
In fact, I've been telling Tony Altomore, this is the guy after the UCLA game. This would be great if we can get this guy. I don't know if we can get him.
Yeah.
But he's young and he's only been there a year, and his dad's an NFL coach.
Exactly.
And
Yeah. Have you seen it? Have you seen his
what are
stats?
your thoughts, guys?
Have you seen his his coaching stats for this year?
What's your thoughts on the hire or the potential hire? Nothing's final until it's final. But
I think it's a home run. I mean, obviously he doesn't have the big splashy name because he's only been coaching a year, but
Yeah.
his resume speaks for itself. Look at what he's done for UCLA, and he's an NFL guy. That's going to attract recruits alone. So I think he's going to be he's going to do more over here with better talent. And he was able to recruit well out of the transfer portal that short time that he was there. So
yeah, if you remember, they didn't get much. They got a few defensive players, but I don't know what's going on with Chip Kelly in that UCLA program. But there wasn't a lot of noise. And granted, I think the doubters will say, well, UCLA didn't play Oregon, they didn't play Washington. They got boat raced by Cal, and they played a soft out-of-conference schedule. That's fine because there's people that always look at the glass half empty, and you're never going to change them. And it would suck to be them. But you look at this guy. He turned around that porous defense in 1 year.
Yeah.
With little high school recruiting. Yeah, they got some guys in the transfer portal. But I think his upside is tremendous, especially with a school that's got resources and cares about football.
exactly. And he's younger than most of us here, right? Outside of guns. So he's only 34 years of age, man. Like,
How are you frozen already?
I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. Happens every episode, man.
It's getting worse.
I blame Raul.
You got dial-up still or what?
Yep. AOL, man.
No, yeah, Liatu Latu. He's only a junior now. I think he's a junior from
He's
what I'm
gone.
seeing
He's,
here.
He's
gonna
gone.
be a
He ain't
first-round
gonna
pick.
transfer. Yeah, he's not gonna transfer.
If not in the portal.
Hey Rick,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt, guys, but I was gonna say, Rick, it's only right that you're on the episode today because we called it when you were on our episode last time. We mentioned Lynn as a potential option at the time. So, Pete Thamel doesn't have anything on it. We called it a few weeks ago, guys.
I've been talking about it with Tony Altimore. I didn't have him in my top 5 video, mainly because I recorded that video on the Thursday before the UCLA game, but I needed to get. I just could never get it edited, and so I dropped it Sunday morning after the UCLA game. I would have had Deonton Lynn on there had I dropped that morning. I mean, he was just outside of my top 5. And so to get this guy, I think is huge. Now that you see what happened to UCLA, they're keeping Chip Kelly because they beat us bad. I'm surprised that he wasn't fired after that Cal debacle. Right. And then Dante Moore goes in the portal yesterday. This is perfect. You can't ask for anything more.
Exactly. Dante Moore goes into the portal, then his grandma bashes Chip Kelly. Did you guys catch that one? I know something in the chat. Rick, did you see that?
Wait, Dante Moore's grandmother?
Oh yeah. Dante Moore's grandmother let Chip Kelly have it over Twitter, man.
Oh really? Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So we've been winning all day, man. It's been a good day for us Trojans over here, man.
Well, here's a question for you guys. Now, does Martin Jarman let go of Chip Kelly and just start all over? Go get a new head coach, get a new defensive coordinator. I mean,
well, from what I'm hearing, they just didn't want to spend that money on the whole search, start the thing over. But I think their hands are probably going to be forced. I know. I'm sure Tony has probably talked to Tony Saragusa over there. I'm sure he's not happy about it. Have you heard anything over there on that side, Rick?
No, this is all new. I don't know why they're keeping him. I have heard that I think his buyout's around $7 million.
That's fairly cheap considering, but
it's well known that basketball is the number one priority there. I just didn't think. I thought now that you're going to the Big Ten, maybe it'd be more of a priority. Apparently it's not, because there's not a sense of urgency. If there ever was one, you would have it now. But hey, I had a funny feeling that you could go after Deonton Lynn and get him. You could pay him what he's worth, and he's young, and he can relate to the players. He's got energy, and he's already making a name for himself. So, perfect opportunity.
You know who we could see coming back?
Who's that?
Ken Norton.
Ken Norton. God, man, if we could get Ken Norton back, why not? Right?
Yeah.
Fire sale in Westwood right now, so keep on buying until they say no.
just got fired, so he's available.
Well, I'm sorry, what was that?
Ken Norton's he got fired earlier today, so he's available.
Oh, you're kidding me? They fired him?
Why?
Yeah, Nevada fired him. Yeah,
you do that?
Just wasn't doing good, basically. So,
what do you mean they weren't doing good? They were the number one rush defense in the nation. How is that?
No, Ken Norton Jr. He was the head, Kevin Wilson. Sorry, I'm thinking of someone else. Apologies, not Kevin Norton. So
I was like, yeah, Ken. I was like, Ken Norton's still on the staff. But
yeah, sorry.
That would be crazy too if they did. But yeah, so we can get Ken Norton back, and maybe get their defensive line coach. But do you think he's going to get rid of Sean Nua?
I mean, we'll see what happens over there. I mean, listen, right. At this point, you make that hire, you got to let him do it. Do what he feels most comfortable with, what he's most comfortable with. I like Noah, don't get me wrong, but he'll land on his feet for sure if that's the case.
Who do you think was the reason we got this hire? Do you think it was Lincoln Riley or Jen Cohen?
Sources say that Lincoln was leading the charge on this one, but
okay, I can appreciate that.
Mama Jen said that she had her hand on it as well. So
Well, if he led the charge in it, I can appreciate that.
yeah, I mean, I think it was a joint effort, probably.
Yeah, but like Deonton was probably like a dark horse for me when it came to the coaching staff for a defensive coordinator. But basically, I thought he was getting ready to ditch UCLA to go to the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, we all pretty much thought he would be NFL bound, but I mean, if you ask me, this job is the closest thing you're going to get to NFL. You get to live in LA and make top dollar, or for him, you get to stay put and make top dollar.
You'll see,
and go to the better school. So
I dropped a video today, literally at like 1:00 or 1:30.
Right.
And there was a great article in the LA Times on Wednesday by Ryan Karchi. And I think a lot of people forgot who was in charge of this hire. This was not like Lynn Swan or Pat Hayden. People were like, we're getting screwed here. The transfer portal's opening up on Monday, and we don't have anybody. And what's going on? And it's like, do people forget we got a Christmas gift 3 months ago? We got Jen Cohen, right?
Trauma.
And I'll tell you what, Jen Cohen, and all ADs have a list, right? Head coaching list. She talked about the importance of now hiring coordinators is like hiring a head coach. That's that important. So she has lists of who are the top picks. Now, those lists don't mean anything unless you have a president that believes in the program and supports athletics, and you have a board of trustees, and you have an NIL program and all of that kind of stuff. And so luckily we're fully aligned. And so it was like, hey, these aren't the old days. Yes, I understand that the transfer portal is coming up and we'd like to have somebody, but it's not a perfect science. And I think they wanted to get Jim Leonard, obviously, but that just didn't work for whatever reason. And we might hear down the road, we might not. You can kind of connect the tea leaves, but he was probably leaning towards the NFL. That time frame didn't really work with college. There's questions if he wanted to move to LA. We'll never know. But yeah, you can negotiate. But she had several names on that list, and I would have to think DeAnton Lynn, if he wasn't on the list after that UCLA game, he was.
Absolutely.
Because I think it was a partnership because Lincoln Riley saw the difference in the defense from last year when they gave up 48 points in a loss at the Rose Bowl, and then what they did this year. So he saw the difference.
Yep.
No, when we lost to them, I was like in our podcast, I was saying like that defense was scary. Like they were swarming us and they were pushing around our offensive line, and it was just like number 12 and number 11, and then 15 Liatu was just manhandling us. Real quick, do you know what type of defensive scheme they run, Rick?
I don't. I don't know. That's a great question.
I'm looking it up because I'm going to try to make a video tonight.
I'm going to assume it's multiple because I remember he was doing a lot of different front seven looks and whatnot. So I'm going to assume it's that. I mean, especially coming from a John Harbaugh system, they be throwing a lot of looks.
What did you guys think of the timing? Pete Thamel releases his tweet at 5 o'clock, right with the Pac-12 championship. I am literally up at a pizza joint having a beer, and I met a Trojan. He's actually a Trojan sitting next to me with his girlfriend, who's an Oregon Duck. And I actually got a new subscriber to our channel by sitting there.
Nice.
Kids go to Orange Lutheran, and we're talking about it. I'm like, oh, my God, you're not going to believe this. It looks like USC's got a new defensive coordinator. But, it's Pete Thamel. So it's like, hey, it's got to be right.
Right.
And then I get your invitation. Thank you so much, Brandon. And I was like, all right, well, I'll head home real quick because this is still kind of, I'm in a daze. I can't believe.
Exactly. I mean, we all are, man. You'll see Jay's live.
It's a Sunday afternoon. That's when I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
It looks like he
Oh,
runs.
Rick,
go ahead.
before you had jumped on, we were starting to talk about what the support staff might look like. Do you have any sort of ideas of what type of guys? I know that you mentioned, Ken Norton and anybody else that you would want to be on the support staff.
I haven't really given it that much thought. I really, you got to give DeAnton Lynn his autonomy to do what he wants.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. And I don't know who this was news to me that Ken Norton got fired. I doubt that DeAnton Lynn fired him.
Sorry, he did not get fired. I was talking about someone else. So apologies there. Yeah. So
yeah. Well, I don't know. I think you have to respect what he did. And I'm sure there'll be discussions with him and Lincoln Riley and Jen Cohen, and they're going to try to figure out what they can do. But you're going to have. It would be great to have some type of connection to USC's previous defense. Ken Norton was here. That was important. I'm sure they're going to evaluate him, but you need some fire. You need some nastiness, kind of like an Ed Orgeron, a Marv Goo, a Kennedy Pola. You need a guy, and that's another thing. We need a special teams coach. So I've had somebody ask me, hey, what about getting Kennedy Pola as a special teams coach? Yeah, that would be great because that guy has fire. And we need that on this team, especially when you're dealing with a roster that's full of transfers in the portal. That's the nature of college football. And you have to get all these bodies together and move in one direction. And you have to understand about USC. We're not just a destination. No, this is you come here to win championships. And I'll tell you what now, this portal is going to go crazy because I predict there's going to be 20% more players in the portal because next year is the 12-team playoff. And so teams are going to be selling, hey, our goal is to be in the playoff. That gives a goal for a lot of these players to make the move. And it's surprising how many are jumping in or have declared that they're going to jump in.
So from what I'm seeing right here, I'm looking at highlights of UCLA versus Utah. It looks like he runs a 4.25.
That was going to be my guess. But yeah, is that his base? Do you see that?
Yeah, a majority of the time so far I've seen it 4.25 or I've also seen a 3.4 what's it called? What was this? Yeah, 4.3 defense.
Yeah, that's funny. Earlier this year I asked Jaywalk with our current roster with defensive base, would he run? And he mentioned both of those 3.4 and 4.25 hybrid. So
yeah, so I appreciate that. I like that defense.
Absolutely, man. It's been proven. Some championships have been won in the 4.25. So yeah, man. I mean, I'm ready to have 4 down linemen. If we're not gonna, after this test, and it's definitely an upgrade.
Right. To Rick's earlier point, 247 tweeted this earlier. Through November 30th, last year they had 327 FBS players in the portal. This year it's 488. So yeah, like you're saying, it's already an increase. It's already skyrocketing. So it's going to get more crazy. So in the portal.
You know what's funny? On DeAnton's Wikipedia, it already shows him at USC.
No way.
It does.
Okay, so it's been finalized for a while, probably.
But Wikipedia can be updated by anyone.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they wasted no time. That's awesome.
Nope.
Yeah, I like this guy. I like his bio here. He played at Penn State, and he's been in the NFL since 2014. Lastly with the Baltimore Ravens for 2 years in 21-22 as a safeties coach, and then was promoted, or went to UCLA as a defensive coordinator. That's pretty remarkable. But anybody who has time with the Baltimore Ravens in that system, that is quite a feather in your cap. That's one of the teams where if you are a defensive coach, you learn about a culture. You learn about defense being the main focus. A team like the Ravens or the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chime in, guys. Who else would you consider a very tough-nosed defensive NFL team?
Yeah, I mean, right now, if you look at defenses, I'd say the Niners and
Niners.
Maybe the Raiders.
Niners, Jets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where's his dad at? I know he used to be a head coach for the Chargers, but is his dad still in the league?
I believe with San Fran, yeah. I want to
San
say
Fran?
running back coach, but I'm not quite sure on that. But yeah, I know he's with San Fran.
He is with the Niners.
Mm-hmm. So there we go, man. The pedigree is there, man. And listen, he grew up in the NFL. You said since what, 2014, right?
Yeah, with the Jets. Right.
Yeah, he's only 34 years old. 34 years old. So
he's a year older than me.
Yeah,
but I'm looking at his defensive line, his nose tackle and D tackle, 315 plus.
Exactly.
And his defensive ends are 260, where they should be.
Exactly. So no more ends playing D tackle for us. So hopefully we can put some weight on Corey Foreman.
Can we get Jay Toya back, or get Jay Toya to come?
I don't think his uncle will allow that.
Does Bars qualify for another year?
No.
I know he doesn't. But
he wishes to, but
it would be nice.
Yeah, that's
and Rick, welcome to the show, man. I was having difficulties with.
Nah, you were eating a burrito, Raul.
He was stuffing his face, man.
Yeah,
did
you can
you
put
even get our
on
orders,
camera.
man?
We want to see that. Yeah.
Did you get our orders? That's all I want to know.
I keep waiting
the
for
connection dropped when that happened, fellas. That's what happened.
Whatever.
I was at the King Taco in Long Beach, Rick, so I didn't have reception.
Tyler ordered an extra large, man. You didn't even get it.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to feed the beast, big dog.
Hey, you got to make the drive in, Tyler. Got you.
That's fine. I got family in Long Beach. I'll go say hi to Rick when we're out there.
Yeah.
I want to address what Kevin's putting in the chat here, saying that Riley's got his yes sir guy. I don't think D'Anton Lynn is a yes sir guy.
I don't know about that.
This guy is no BS. Like, that guy's never smiled in his damn life. Like, this is the type of discipline we need on defense going into the Big Ten. Like, this is not that type of guy. They didn't give this guy $2 million to just be Lincoln Riley's, little right hand man, just saying yes. This is going to be fun watching the ones play the ones on whatever day of the week that they line those boys up, because the defense is going to start pushing some people around, and Riley's going to have to start getting really creative to make some things happen. So I think it's a win. Was he the number one option? A lot of people wanted Jim Leonard. It seemed like that was pretty close at some points. Who knows how true that actually was? But at the end of the day, like, this is the dude that we got, and we're going to be a lot better defensively, and we're finally going to be excited getting a stop every once in a while instead of just not giving up a first down on every single play and being able to celebrate that. So it's going to be a big win. I think we're going to make a lot of progress next year. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, real quick to add on to that, like Kevin, he was coached by John Harbaugh. Like, that guy he don't take no shit. So I'm pretty sure he's going to take the same philosophy from him. And plus, like, what was it? He's going to have full reign of the defense, because we all know Lincoln Riley didn't really have any say in the defense or whatever. Like, that was all Alex Grinch doing his thing. So we know that I'm not saying Lincoln doesn't have any effect on it, but for the most part, he sticks with his offensive guys. So
I wouldn't say, and I appreciate Kevin's comment, but I wouldn't say he's Lincoln Riley's yes man. This was not Lincoln Riley's sole decision. This was also Jen Cohen. And Jen Cohen, this was her first major hire at USC. she's going to get it right. I trust Jen Cohen. She was at the University of Washington athletic department for 16 years. She was an AD for 7 years. It was considered a home run hire. So Lincoln Riley did not make this hire on his own. Just like Lincoln Riley did not fire Alex Grinch. It's good cop, bad cop. And you think that Lincoln Riley wanted to fire Alex Grinch? I'm sorry, it didn't happen. Let's just say he was influenced, probably by boosters and Jen Cohen, to make that change. Even in the press conference after Washington, he was talking about how USC was just a play away. They were in this game. Well, then the next day, something happened, and within 15 hours, he had to fire Alex Grinch. So, hey, I understand your opinion, but no, Jen Cohen is not going to hire somebody she doesn't think is going to be successful, and is not going to be given the resources or the decision making on how they're going to practice, who they're going to, the philosophy on the defense, the scheme. So you got to give some respect to DeAnton Lynn.
Yeah. And the thing, he said that he's no Pete Carroll hire. Pete Carroll wasn't even our number one pick when we were looking for a coach. He was definitely when people said when we found out that he got hired, people didn't like it. Yeah. And then look how it turned out. So
1-2, man.
He left it up to Riley. You may not know Cohen then.
How does Kevin know that she left it up to Riley? Let us know. You got some good intel, but
wait,
yeah,
who's your source?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to.
Yes, I understand what you're saying, Kevin. Yeah. That's called good cop, bad cop. That is corporate speak.
Right.
His job. But you know what? He was on the cliff for how many games saying we were close, we were close. That was code speak of, hey, Alex Grinch, you better turn this around because I can't say we are close that many more times. He said it after the Washington game, making excuses. And then finally, enough was enough. He changed his mind really quickly in 15 hours. So, yes, Lincoln Riley, it was up to him. But I can't tell. If you can't figure that out and connect the dots, I can't help you.
Right. So one thing for sure, man, that we know is when we make we make an athletic director hire, they want to put their footprint on the program. So they want to make the splash, the big hire. So for her, this was her big hire. Obviously we just hired a new head coach, so he's not going anywhere. So this was her opportunity to put her footprint on the program, and I'd say, man, she did it. She did it. This is a guy that he may not have been our number one pick, but he was definitely on everyone's hot board. That was a shot in the dark, honestly. He was already employed, so it's not like we definitely didn't think that he would come over from UCLA, being that he was already in place over there. So I don't know where you got your information or inkling, but
all right, Kevin, I got some stuff for you. Strong run stuffers, middle, up the middle. You got athletic, relentless edge defenders coming downhill, and you got physical DBs. Is that not what you wanted? Is that not what we've all wanted for a decade? The whole entire Helton time, the whole entire time that Alex Grinch was there. That's what everybody's wanted. Go watch the UCLA USC game. We flip jerseys. That's the exact type of defense that we want out there.
Exactly.
And they're playing with less talent, less composite talent than we have on the field right now.
Yep.
Yeah, Alex Grinch should have been gone a long time ago. So
easily.
You ain't wrong about that.
He shouldn't even came.
You're absolutely right. And you know what, Kevin, I've got the article right here. And one of the conversations, this is what Jen Cohen had to say regarding the Alex Grinch firing. Quote, so when things aren't where we need them to be in any aspect of the program, we're going to have conversations about it because we're partners. And it's my job to do everything I can to remove obstacles for him and our other coaches, and also create opportunities for them and provide the resources they need to be great. And personnel is a part of that. Translation, she pointed out that Alex Grinch is an obstacle. His defense was not working. That is an obstacle, Lincoln Riley, for your success, for USC's football success, and we're going to the Big Ten. That is not USC football, Lincoln Riley. I've had a number of boosters talk to me. I've had a number of former defensive players say that is not USC football. We watched what happened to Washington. So she's being politically correct. This is what you do. I can't make it any clearer. Remove obstacles. She had her list. All right. They had a conversation with Lincoln Riley. She's not going to fire the guy. It's the chain of command. Lincoln Riley, you brought him here. You gave him an extra year. Jen Cohen was hired 5 days before the season started. So basically, within 2.5 months, she determined what an obstacle was. She identified it, and she had Lincoln Riley make the change. And then they had the resources to make sure they got this correction made as we're going to the Big Ten. Hey, it didn't work out, Alex Grinch. Sorry.
Absolutely.
And a quick update. Oh, sorry. Quick update. I know we're talking about DC and this Kevin guy. 17-3 Washington.
17-3, guys. Yep.
That's right. 17-3, baby.
right
That's
there
right,
with you,
Raul.
buddy.
That's right, Raul.
There you go.
So if you guys didn't catch the last night's episode.
And Kevin, just to point out, the reason Washington's there is because of Jen Cohen, Mama Jen.
Absolutely.
So look at where they're at and where we're at. So she's making the right moves.
Real quick, Kevin, I kind of find it funny that you say bad hire, but then you say he was the fourth or fifth choice for your hire. So that's still kind of a good option with all the defensive coordinators that we have out there. But let's move on.
Kevin, we appreciate you joining the show, by the way. So don't think we're over here bashing. We're just trying to tell you that we got a good hire. So appreciate the love and then joining the show.
I'll be completely honest. I thought Pete Carroll was a bad hire.
My mom
was a bad hire. In fact, I can't recall anybody saying that was a good hire. And if they did, they're a liar because he was like the fourth or fifth pick. And hey, Jim Leonard was number one. He didn't end up anywhere. I had Manny Diaz as 2. Morgan Scalley was contacted by USC, and he said no because he's probably going to be Utah's coach in a year or two. He's not leaving.
On his way out.
Yeah. And Whittingham is going to become the AD at Utah. And Phil Parker is another great defensive coordinator. That guy will die before he leaves Iowa.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got loyalty there. He's not coming to LA, but you got to make the phone call.
Not at 60.
Yeah. And I had Trent Bray as the 5th guy, and he got a job as a head coach because Jonathan Smith moved on.
Yep.
Yeah, that would you're right. It would make the Anthony Lynn probably the 5th, 6th, 7th choice, right?
Yeah,
still a great choice.
Either way, he did a good job with UCLA, and he has NFL pedigree. So at this point, we have our guy right now, and so all we can do really at this point is support him.
Yep. So speaking of support, so it's I've been told that we're going to be looking to boost up our support staff as well as our NIL program. Have you been hearing anything on that as well, Rick?
Well, I'm sorry, what was that?
Have you been hearing anything? I said I've been hearing that we're going to be boosting our support staff and our NIL program. It's supposed to be big news coming about both of those things. Have you heard anything on your front?
I don't know any new word. I know that there was a big fundraiser, I think, before the UCLA game with the House of Victory, where I think they raised $500,000. Right. But and that's a problem with USC. Is it's kind of like everybody looks to one another and likes to complain, but empty your pocketbook. Come on, it's legal now, and that's what's frustrating about USC fans. We have a lot of bandwagon fans that like to complain, and you should have done this, you should have done that. And I don't want to do this, and they redid the Coliseum, and they didn't talk to me. And you know what? Just either get out of the way, donate money, or get out of the way. You know,
Right.
Go root for the Ducks. Go root for the Angels. Right? They don't invest in anything. That fits well with your demographic who doesn't like to spend anything. Go ahead and complain.
Exactly.
No, it's a big market here. We don't need you at the Coliseum. So, if you want to make a difference, donate. It's not difficult.
Yep, that's true. That is true. But yeah. So I'm hearing we're both of those. So we'll see how that plays out. There should be an announcement soon, from what I'm hearing about NIL.
I think, and I don't know this, but I'm sure that's one of the things that Jen Cohen talked about in the LA Times article. They're working on getting NIL right. So she's got to evaluate a lot of different things, and she's talking to the right people, and I'm sure there'll be improvements that'll be made. But she pretty much laid out what she's been doing in the 3 months that she's been here. And I think she just appeared in the Register as well, from what I understand, kind of talking about the same thing. But this is a time where her leadership is going to take over. There was some new facilities that had been planned. She's picking up a baton on that. She's going to talk. I'm sure there'll be a lot of information coming about NIL as we move forward. But it's an exciting time because the clock is ticking, and we're going to be in the Big Ten in a matter of months.
Yep.
Yeah, and also that I don't know if you caught the part in that article. She said that she's able to do like more things with NIL in California than what she was doing at Washington. So I thought that was a pretty cool, neat little thing that she mentioned.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ken over here.
I'm looking on Twitter right now. Marcellus Williams is saying this is a good hire. A lot of people. Kyle Ford tweeted out saying he's sad about it. So
Who said that? Kyle Ford.
Kyle Ford. Yeah.
I'd say this is a big plus in terms of just like overall California, recruits and like their families and stuff. Like I think they respect this guy for what he's done so far. So I think it's just can continue to go up.
And then he understands the Big Ten as well. He's a Penn State alumni, so he has an idea of what it takes to play in that conference.
That's a great point, bro. Great point.
Yep.
He competed in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, personally myself, I would rather have Lynn than Leonard, and that's just my opinion based on how Leonard's been acting, like he's the top dog, and he feels like he deserves all these things. I mean, personally,
we don't know.
I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is, I would much rather have Lynn as a CC over him.
Honestly, though, okay, I think
it was more of the living on the West Coast in my personal opinion.
Like
he's a big Midwest guy. Like his wife is Midwest, so like I think that's personally. I think that was a big factor.
I still would have picked Leonard.
Still would the Midwest over the West Coast. I mean, I don't know. You're weird for that, but I don't know. Just weather.
It's nice out there, it really is.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, the weather is that. But yeah, I mean,
I'm not choosing middle of America over the West Coast at all. I mean, I may be a little biased, but
hey, I live in Minnesota, okay, and I kind of like it here.
But like you guys said it already. I mean, there's nothing wrong with people wanting to live in the Midwest. It's a great side of a great part of the U.S. But you guys said he doesn't want to be here, so there's no point of trying to overpay somebody just to come, and his heart's not going to be here. So I'd rather have somebody that truly wants to be here and put his footprint here and grow from there. Kind of what Lynn, I think, is going to do. I think he's going to be successful. He might not be the sexy hire that people wanted, but I think he's the right guy.
Absolutely. That would be interesting to watch, man. It would be very interesting to see who from that side, UCLA side, hops in the portal moving forward.
I would like Jim Leonard. I would have liked Jim Leonard hands down.
Yeah.
But with Jim Leonard, it could have been 1 year. You don't know, right? Because he had aspirations to be in the NFL, and you would thank him for that 1 year, and you move on. The benefit of having somebody like DeAnton Lynn is his age, his NFL experience, and the odds of him staying for longer than 1 year and establishing the foundation for a strong defense are much greater.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So
He's
there's
not
more
gonna be a one and
upside with him. And I think that he, and I don't know this, but I would think that he's going to resonate pretty well on the recruiting trail, being a younger guy, 33, 34 years old. And I'm sure he's got a vision, and he's got a bunch of contacts from the different NFL stops that he's made.
Absolutely.
And so that is relevant to these young guys who want to get in the league. And now you're going to be playing in the premier conference, probably the best conference, arguably, in college football. It's going to be between the Big Ten and the SEC. But you add that, those 4 teams from the Pac-12 into the Big Ten, and considering that the SEC kind of took a step back this year, even though they don't want to admit it, there's going to be a lot of visibility with the Big Ten with their television partners.
Yep.
Yeah. Deion Bailey likes the hire. Sua Cravens likes to hire.
There you go. Well, and Sua Cravens, he likes to voice his opinion.
Exactly.
Yes, he does.
Words and coming to when it comes to the Trojans, man. So
this guy was a safety coach with the Baltimore Ravens. So Deion Bailey and Sua Cravens endorsing him, that tells you a lot, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Hey guys, I appreciate the invite. I've got to head out. I had some dinner plans. This was
absolutely
a lot of fun. Like I said, man, sorry, a little bit in the days because I wasn't expecting this at all.
No.
Right.
But it's a great night to be a Trojan, and maybe even a better night if Oregon loses this championship game.
Right. I mean, this night is
right.
Yeah. I really hope people put money line on Washington.
I thought Oregon was going to win by 10, so that's what I had predicted. And
don't say that here with Raul here.
Hey Rick, check out our podcast. You'll see my prediction.
Yeah, last night we gave
the last episode.
All right, gentlemen. Fight on.
All right, appreciate it.
Fight on.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, no, this was a last minute podcast for everyone here. So the fact that we were able to get onto it is good.
Yes, sir. So if you guys in the chat, man, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, of course. Be on the lookout for Blackie Chan's in-depth video on our new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I'm trying to get all the information.
Yeah, you're watching him live, gathering information to prepare for that video right now.
Nice.
So, yeah, man.
23, sorry, jump in. 23, Washington. Well,
actually, I misspoke. Sua hasn't said anything about it, but Deion did. Sua's talking about Oregon sleepwalking out there.
Hey. It's good for us. So it doesn't look like they're going to be getting their first natty anytime soon.
Oh, Bear Alexander has tweeted out, "Welcome to DeAnton."
Awesome. Yeah, I know Tony Jones, Bear's guardian or father, if you want to call him, was pretty excited about it on Twitter.
I'm trying to find some recruits what they're saying.
Yep. Yeah, make sure you add that in the video. But again, man, it's everything's been looking good today, man. So I'm excited about the hire. I know you guys are. Kevin, I need you to be a little more excited about this hire, man. I think you're sleeping on this. It's a great hire, man.
You know who just bought?
Hey, the thing is, it's okay if he doesn't get, soon enough when we're top 20, top 15, top 30, whatever, way better defense than we've seen, he'll come around. Don't worry.
Yeah, you'll know soon enough.
Rusty on Twitter said, heard UCLA is looking for a defensive coordinator and put Alex Grinch into UCLA.
It was funny because I actually heard
they're looking at
like a week ago. I told you guys that UCLA had interest in Alex Grinch as a position coach, I believe. But yeah, they might want to they might want to make that higher now.
And I'm gonna end it with this, guys. For all those Twitter or not end it, but I'm gonna say this, guys. For all the Twitters, people out there saying they have sources, let's just be a fan like us, and let the real guys with sources say the stuff out.
No, well, I mentioned.
I was gonna say real quick. Sorry to jump in. Colin Coward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Famous USC fan.
Yeah.
So he kind of replied to the breaking news. He said, "Next up, an elite D line recruiter." Some guy named Matt Miller said, "Coach Orgeron, right?" ? And he replied saying, "They have someone else in mind, not cheap." So whoever is not a cheap defensive lineman coach, that basically is, I would say, what, top 5. That sounds like we might be getting one of those. So maybe Elijah Robinson. I don't know. We'll see.
Wow. Well, that's great to hear. I like Coach Nua.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to land on his feet regardless. He's a great coach.
Yep.
He just, ran into an unfortunate situation being under Alex Grinch.
Poor guy.
Right.
Collateral damage, man. That's just a part of the industry, the coaching industry. Yeah. So wish him the best.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was he an analyst though, kind of when he was at Michigan? Like he wasn't a full D line coach, right?
No, he was
Wasn't
D-line
there like
coach.
some? But I thought he was like an analyst, like essentially that was like or assistant or like. I remember there was always somebody above him. From what I recall back.
I don't think he was like. I think the defensive coordinator was also in charge of D line as well. So
maybe that's what it was. Okay,
people didn't give him the credit for what's his name at Detroit.
Yeah, that's what it was. Basically centered around that. Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha. Well, listen, it sounds like we're going after the best of the best, man. At the end of the day, man, you got to be happy about that, Kevin. No, no, but yeah, man, that's what we want to hear, and that's what Trojan football is about, man. We go after the best of the best, and we go ahead and handle our business on the field, man. And,
Jeff, we don't know if he's leaving. Oh, did you guys hear that we offered Joey Slackman a scholarship? He's in the portal.
Yeah, Penn D tackle, and then also we offered a Western Kentucky safety.
Yeah, Joey Slackman. He's like 3'10" D lineman.
Yep, perfect fit.
Okay, so yeah, we'll be doing our homework on those guys as well, man.
Yeah, he was a first team All-American for Ivy League. I'm not saying that's saying much, but
hey, first team though, regardless.
Ball is ball. If you can play, you can play.
Real quick, Kevin, I appreciate you being here, but we may not need some negativity in our chat. So I'd appreciate like you got your opinion out there, but just let's be happy for right now that we actually have a defensive coordinator now that we can start going to the transfer portal.
Come on, Kevin.
So, like, appreciate you being here. We just need that positivity right now, and yeah. Hey, USCJ.
Jay, what's up, man? I know you're out of breath right now, man. Hey, if y'all, you guys just coming in from USCJ's live, man, help him, man. Go get him some water, man. Get him. He's going off over there, man.
Jay, what's your?
Completely excited.
Did you want to get in here and say your piece, Jay?
Yeah, man. Jay's excited as the rest of us, man, or probably more so.
So USCJ's pretty hype about it.
Oh yeah, we know that Jay's been high on Dancing Land for this whole time, really, man. So
yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen his videos. Yeah.
So if you guys haven't checked his videos out, he went a little more in depth than I've seen anyone else as far as content creators, man, on Dancing Land. So go check it out over there. But yeah, man, Jay was hyping in that emergency podcast he just had, man. Yeah, I'm sure he's out of breath, man. Yeah, man, we're gonna get out of here, fellas. We just want to bring you an emergency live, man. I'm about to head out with the wifey. I'm sure you guys got plans as well. But yeah, you guys be on the lookout for Lucky Chan's video. He's gonna get a little more in depth on our hire, and yeah, man, we got like, man, the future's bright, man. Future's bright. We're back on track. Now all we gotta do is attack this portal hard, and we should be good, man. We should be back to playing football.
Yep. And for those that are down on the hire, give it some time. You guys, like Gunnar mentioned, give it time. You guys are gonna like it.
Yep.
I may have done something.
What'd you do, man? What'd you do?
Dude.
Was that roll?
Painted Kevin, dude.
No, I didn't.
I did a timeout.
Oh, you did.
It tells me he was banned and their comments were removed, is what it tells me. So
it said timeout. Okay, this thing says timeout. I trust it.
We're on live. We're live, guys.
That police.
At this moment, he
go.
knew. He fucked up.
All right, man. So with that being said, man, we are gonna get out of here. Look, we got people looking forward to your stuff, man. So yep,
I got a lot of research.
Get out of here, guys, and be on the lookout. Hit that subscribe button on the way out, please. Much appreciated. Yeah, fight on, man.
Fellas.
Fight on.